After helping hundreds of thousands of wholesalers out, learn this business and learn actually how to get rich, how to get successful, how to make a ton of money in wholesaling real estate, I still get asked this question, especially in 2024. I get a lot of wholesalers asking me, how do I get more leads? How do I get more motivated sellers to actually want to sell their properties? And you always believe the answers, right? You probably got an ad before this video. If you scroll through Instagram, if you search wholesaling, right? Unfortunately, I get hit with these ads all the time. You don't pay until we close, or unless you close, right? And all these crazy things. Your number one answer to this question is, how do I get more leads? Is pay a bunch of money, right? Pay a guru $5,000 to learn the secret. Pay this marketing agency $3,000. Pay this one person, and unless you close the deal, you don't have to pay them. But there's all these clauses and crazy things, right? And you kind of get stuck in this trap where when you are going out here and trying to seek, I have no money, or I'm stuck in this position, right? Maybe I don't have a ton of money, right? I don't have $4,000 to drop. Like, I'm trying to feed my kids. I'm just trying to stay afloat. How do I become successful? How do I get leads in wholesaling real estate, right? We're getting asked these questions. You get inundated with this trap of, unless you are dropping basically your life savings away, right? Unless you were literally out here willing to drop your life savings away, you can't be successful. You can't make any money in wholesaling real estate, right? And the honest truth, a lot of wholesalers believe that this is the case when, frankly, it's not the case at all. You don't need any money. You honestly don't need to be spending a ton of money. You don't have to make any crazy complicated systems. You don't have to be doing any of this crazy stuff. All you really need to do is have a really great setup plan, a great framework. And the number one key I'm going to tell you at the end of this, that really I have found from successful wholesalers and unsuccessful wholesalers. The truth is, what I'm going to tell you today is going to be something that I frankly don't care at the end of the day if you implement yourself. And what I mean by that is, you becoming successful doesn't really change my life too much. Because I'm not here to sell you something at the end of this. There's no cash grab at the end. There's no marketing fee. There's no, oh, pay me this money, right? That's not what I'm here. I'm just trying to give you stuff that fundamentally is going to help you out. You see a lot of people trying to give you advice on how to close more sellers or do more leads, when the point of it is to try to extract money from you, right? I'm going to give you advice that's not here to extract money from you. And what I mean by that is, this is going to be advice that if I offend you, if I make you feel bad, if I scare you, I don't care, because you're not a lead to me, right? You are somebody that I want to become successful. I want you to become successful. Because yes, at the end of it, if you become successful, then you can send me a JV. Like, we can all make money, right? That's nice. But at the end of the day, it's my legacy, trying to help as many wholesalers out, get in this business for free, and become rich with it. So how do I generate leads? In 2024, how do I actually produce deals? How do I make a ton of money wholesaling real estate? What is the key? What do I do, right? The question being asked here, the $1 million thing, is, how do I get more leads? What do I have to do? How do I get rich? How do I do this? And how do I really produce the results that I know that I deserve in wholesaling real estate? Like, what is going to be the thing to do? Like, what's the thing where I can get hundreds of leads in seconds? What is going to be that thing? I want to systematize your options, what you can do, and how you actually can become successful. So let's break this all down. Let's go through the systems, and let's go all through this and break it all down. And kind of like I said before, right? I would love to kind of get you all riled up, excited, to go out here and, yeah, you can get rich and successful and all that, right? All these great things. And then sell you so the key here is a $3,000 a month marketing system, and it'll keep you broke, and you can stay broke, you can stay lazy, and all. And I know I make fun of the gurus. I talk about this a lot, and a lot of people get upset at me. But like, the truth why I have to speak about this is, every day I'm just trying to look at my cousin, right? Like, my cousin's posting funny stuff. When my other cousin has a baby, I try looking at the baby. The baby's cute. And when I'm looking at this, I get ads in between these things. It's like, oh, do you want to become successful? And they're all creative marketing people, right? They're not wholesalers. And the point of it is, they are paying money to extract money from you. They don't actually care if you're successful, right? And the point is, you can stay lazy. You just got to give me money. And it's a perpetual broke cycle where everyone's just trying to extract money from you. And I feel like that's why people like coming to this channel, is because, like, it's the only one where it's not going to hit you with a $4,000 credit card charge watching this stuff, right? And so, yes, I'd love to go tell you, just drop $4,000 a month and do this, this, and this, and you don't have to worry about leads, right? And that's the easy thing for me to do. Right? Like that's how you see everyone do it, right? But drop this type of marketing, go buy this $15,000 program, and that'll tell you the success. Or you should cold call, but if you really want to be good at cold calling, you have to buy the $10,000 program here to learn cold. Like that's what's being told in wholesaling real estate. And I wish I've been wholesaling for 7+ years now. In the 5 years I've been in YouTube about wholesaling real estate, I wish there was one guy outside of me and Rick that just told it straight without a $12,000 program. But it's not. Unfortunately, it's still me and Rick. It's really sad, but it's true. And so the problem is you ask this question, and the reason why I'm setting this up in this way is either any Joe Schmo can drop 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 grand in marketing and get results. Like anyone can. And this weekend I had some free time, and so I decided I wanted to go listen to every marketing spiel on wholesaling. Like I was a beginner wholesaler again, and be like, okay, if I want to learn how to get leads and get money marketing in wholesaling real estate, let me just do quick Google searches and see the videos posted. And I don't want to mention any names. And every single one was, you got to drop 3 grand. If you have to make money, you have to spend money, right? And every single one was like this. And the only ones that said if you had no money, it was drawing for dollars, which what is that? Like you still got to spend gas, right? And so the free strategies weren't really there. The only free strategy was a free trial to a software, but they told you couldn't do any free skip tracing, right? No free skip tracing was introduced. It was all paid skip tracing. And the cheapest marketing system I saw was like $300, $400, $500 a month, which I thought was really out of reach, because as a broke bag boy with only $300 in my bank account, that was not an option for me. And I still truly believe anywhere in the education space trying to learn how to make money, wholesaling real estate wise, it's still broken. And so I want to help those people out. With the guys with 500 a month and 3, 4, 5 grand a month, I'll tell you what to do also. But there's some things that spending a bunch of money is not going to help you out. And really, let's break it all down. And Mark says, get on with it. Mark, if you can go show me a HUD showing me you've done millions of dollars last year in assignment fees, I'd love for you to go speak. But Mark, you got to understand, I have to set this up in the correct way as somebody that makes millions of dollars wholesaling real estate, where anyone from any walk of life can go out here and start wholesaling houses. This is a live stream. And a lot of people think I don't look at comments, and I understand this. But I try to set this up in a way where anybody who is sick and tired of the way they've been wholesaling, if you have the attention span of a peanut and you can't watch this more than 8 minutes without complaining about the length of this, you go back to spending 5 grand a month. Go to your guru. Go spend 14 grand with a guru to go learn how to wholesale houses. But I'm set this up in a way of understanding where wholesaling real estate's at, what your options are. Mark, please tell me your options and how much money you made last year. If it's over $1 million, I'd love to know. And you can do your own YouTube channel and speak about this. But I frankly know you ain't doing it. And you're coming on here because you want to understand. But the truth is, Mark, if you want the quick dopamine hit and a 2-minute explanation of what you have to do, you're going to stay broke. Because if you can't understand what I have to say, you don't have the attention span to go to freelancing.com. You don't know the right scripts. You don't know how to go actually here and talk to a seller. Mark, you don't understand this. You're set up to be perpetually broke. The problem is, Mark, you are the issue. You are the wholesaler I'm calling out in today's video. And this is why I popped your comment on the screen here to let you know. If you have the attention span of a peanut, you are going to stay broke. If you can't go and sit down and listen and actually have let's say an hour to sit down and understand how to actually find wholesaling deals from a millionaire wholesaler, one of the top wholesalers in the country, and you can't understand that, you're going to be broke. You are not going to understand how to do anything. And if you can't even learn to set up where you are as a wholesaler and where most wholesalers are at, making $0 a month in marketing to 100, 2, 3, 4, 500, and then to $5,000, you ain't going to get them. And so the truth here is, I help a lot of broke wholesalers out, and I get people who are stuck in a perpetual loop and they want a change. Mark, you are the issue. You are the guy I'm talking about right now. And the reason why I'm bringing Mark on here is Mark's never going to comment anything back, obviously, because he didn't make $1 million this last year, obviously. So he can't talk about this. But Mark Rushing, you have to sit and be patient. Nothing in life is given fast. If you're watching this video right now because you want to make $1 million in less than 2 weeks, you should get off this video right now. This is not a wholesaling real estate work. I don't understand this. So if you want the get rich quick scheme, this isn't it. This isn't the spend 5 grand to do it, right? Just telling you. So tell us, I want positive, not what does not work. So Mark, if you want to know the truth, you have to be patient. You have to sit down and truly understand this. Wholesaling real estate is a business of attrition. It is doing the work every single day, not getting the instant dopamine hit, which is the opposite of what society expects you to get, and you'll get it. Now, I will tell you, wholesaling real estate is not a get rich quick scheme, but it is a scheme. If you can work hard, you can work hard, get rich quick scheme. It's a weird way to explain it, but me making $20,000 my first month at 17 years old, I worked my butt off. I gave blood, sweat, and tears. And so if you want to make millions of dollars, you're going to first have to make hundreds of thousands of dollars and then go from there. So yeah, if you want to get onto it real fast, buddy, go spend $7,000 for a guru who's going to tell you to spend $7,000 a month. If you want to do that, go the paid route. Unfortunately, that $7,000 course, they have to pay 50% upfront to the commission to the sales guy. The $2,000 they spent on YouTube ads to get you into their program, they're netting $2,000 after you, and they're doing weekly Zoom. And so let's get it going and let's break it down. One last thing from Mark. Love Mark out here. Let me just break this down. So if you guys want to understand why I'm doing a lot here today, but I swear to you, we'll get to it. But I do want to show. So if you're like him and you want to understand why you should listen to me, why I actually know what I'm talking about and what I can do. For the last 5 years, I've shown pretty much a lot of the deals I've done, a lot of my HUDs, everything I've done. Now, if you want to go out here, before we block Mark out here, let's see here. Where is he? There we go. All right. So let's kind of break this down really quick. And then I don't usually show a lot of these HUDs from people I've helped, but this is just 2023 really quick. We'll get to the other ones out here too. But I like to get this on for Mark so we can understand. So we do this. So these are all people in the past year I've helped. This is Nasser. He made $700,000 in only 2 years, only learning from me absolutely for free. This guy, he get 5 virtual deals in a month. He was able to make $20,000 his first 5 weeks, $50,000 Benji his first deal here, 4 deals at 23. They made $100K. Power couple Ryan and Caleb. They made $100K the first 6 months for my free course. $200,000 his first year there in Texas. Victor made $10,000 his first deal. You can read all these. These are like hour long. Joel, my guy, Fire Damage Properties, with nothing but my help, learning for free, he made $1 million his first year. I can go on again, $100K a month. He's doing a lot of land stuff. Shout out to Jason, $84,000 his first 2 months. I go on and on forever. If you don't believe me, these are all people. Thanks Zach, thanks Zach, thanks Zach, thanks Zach, thanks Zach and Rick, thanks Zach, thanks Zach, thanks Zach, thanks Zach, thanks Zach and Rick. $10,000 deal. I mean, Mark, like, stay broke. Go buy your guru. Go do his course. I can go on and on forever. So you want to understand why you should listen to me talking about this. I'm not doing this from an ego perspective, but to show you these checks can go on and on and on all day. Okay. I help a lot of people out get rich. Here's the thing. I can talk crap about gurus because first and foremost, no guru has the amount of people that I've helped absolutely for free. There's not one person who has produced more first deals for any other person in the entire country in wholesaling real estate than me. You know why? Because I'm the only person that's in charge for this information. And so let's kind of get rid of the trolls. Let's get all the stupid stuff. Let's talk about the truth here. If you want to get rich wholesaling houses, you have a choice. You can spend $6,000 a month, or you can learn from me for free. These are your choices. I'm here to show you for free. I don't go on here and get people to talk smack at me on the internet while literally getting paid $0. And I don't deal with that to get people to stay broke. I deal with it because it actually produces people and makes them actually change. And so let's talk about this. And I used Mark's little hate there as an example to show that I know what I'm talking about and I've helped a lot of people out. Fortunately, I have to show the proof that no other person has that many checks that they've helped out for people absolutely for free. So let's get into it. And so let's talk about this. In wholesaling real estate, you do not have a lack of leads. You have a lack of tracking leads. This is going to be your main issue. I help a lot of people out. And the one thing I love on these live streams and other live streams I do, and this is really important, okay, is when people are struggling to start producing $10,000 a month, $8,000 a month, 12, 20, 30,000 a month, right? They feel like they don't have enough leads, and that's their issue. And really that is a symptom of the real problem. It's like saying I have a sore throat when really you have strep throat or something like that. You know, the sore throat's the real problem. It's like, no, let's look at the source of the problem. So yes, you lack leads, but what is the source of your problem, right? And I'm kind of like a doctor on here where I have to look around and see what's going on. Is it your lack of calling? Do you have bad lists? Do you have bad skip tracing? Right? You got to look at all these things. And after my experience looking at systems, doing virtual wholesaling all over the country and all these JV deals, it's really easy for me to kind of pinpoint the problem. There's usually most businesses like a bottleneck that we got to fix. and we can help you out a lot. But the real thing that I can tell you that I don't see a lot of wholesalers really focusing on too much, it drives me crazy here, but you're lacking tracking in your business. And what I mean by that is you are not tracking your leads. And if you're watching this right now and you're not tracking the leads you get, if you're not tracking the amount of cold calls you're making, if you're not tracking the SMS you're doing, the drawing for dollars, or any of the marketing that you do, you are set up for failure. Because if you do not track the leads are going to track you, and the leads are going to run you over. And so if you let their leads run themselves, they're just going to run into the ground. They know what they're doing, right? It's like when you have a dog and you don't train it well. Guess what the dog's going to do? The dog's going to be bad. And if you treat the dog well and you train it well, the dog's going to be good. Drives me crazy. But it's not a lack of leads, but a lack of tracking, which is your issue. And so we have to first and foremost talk about, we need to start tracking our stuff. All right. I see a lot of wholesalers. And like I said before, I'm already a millionaire many times over, make a lot of money wholesaling houses. I'm trying to become the biggest wholesaler in the country with JV deals. That's one big thing I'm trying to do. But obviously I can just make millions of dollars just virtually wholesaling and wholesaling by myself. Right. And so I'm going to say this in the nicest way, in my heart. Okay. In my heart, I'm saying this in the nicest way possible. But if you feel like you don't have enough leads and you don't know what you're doing and you don't make plans, there is a reason why. And I'm saying this in a nice, I'm not saying this to offend you. I'm not saying this to be mean. I'm not saying this to call you a crybaby, but you are operating in your feelings and how hard I felt I worked for the day. And that is how I operate in wholesaling. And I'm not saying this is an offensive thing, but I used to be a victim of this. And I know a lot of people are a victim of this, right? That they operate of, I feel like I should do this list today, and that's what I'm gonna do. I feel like I should text right now, where I feel like this is a drawing for dollars day, right? I feel. They wake up in the morning and they decide, oh, what should I do today? Oh, let me look at all my leads and see which ones to follow up with, right? I feel like I should call. The problem is when you operate in how I'm feeling, you're going to skip 3 weeks of cold calling cash buyers. You're gonna skip 3 weeks of texting. You're gonna skip trying for dollars for a month, right? When you operate off of your feelings without any discipline at all or accountability, you're going to be broke. You're going to have absolutely no structure in your life. And discipline, it will create freedom, but you have no discipline, you're not going to do well, right? Now, the greatest military of all time is the United States, hands down. Shout USA, USA, right? But the truth is, whenever you look at two militaries, right, especially in history, I love reading history, military, all that stuff. When you look at the best militaries of all time that absolutely destroyed others, the one biggest difference between a great leader, obviously, is the discipline these soldiers had. If they were given orders, did they follow those orders to a T? And did they follow them wisely? And yes, you can have the greatest discipline, but if you have a bad strategy, it all comes amok, right? Or if you want to go study the greatest, really the leaders or people of all time, right? Discipline is a huge thing. And without discipline, or accountability or planning, you'll never get anywhere, right? And last week was MLK's birthday. I love MLK. I always write a thing every year on his birthday about him because he's one of the greatest leaders of all time. And I just love what his values and what he stands for. And one parallel, I love using him with business, right? At least love in life, the way he approaches things, but the way he looked at things that works with business, right? I'm not trying to profit off of his advice, but you can use his advice to make money. He was one of the most disciplined men I have ever read and researched. And what I mean by that is he was disciplined in his mind. And a lot of people don't understand with MLK, Martin Luther King Jr., he's had a lot of adversity. He's had a lot of things where he always kind of took the other cheek away, right? And it was kind of from his religious background he did that, but I'm not talking about that. But what I mean by that is when he wanted to do something, like actually get stuff done, he planned it out. He didn't say, I feel like doing this today, and just like went off willy-nilly, right? He made plans. He worked hard on them, and he worked at that plan every day until it was perfect, right? His speeches, his marches, all this stuff. It's all instituted with discipline. And it's such a cool thing to look at that. And when he hit adversity, he still did his discipline. He still did what he had to do every single day. And he never was, when he had adversity, he always kept the discipline with him and accountability and all these great things, right? And that's kind of where the buck stops with business and him. He's got other stuff, but like the interesting thing you have to be looking at in your wholesaling operations is when you run off of feelings and how you feel, it ain't going to get you anywhere. Without accountability, without discipline, without showing up every single day when things get tough and just keep going and not saying I quit and just never ever stop when the going got tough, and never cared what other people thought. You're just doing what you had to do. That's why militaries win. That's why great MMA fighters or competitors win. They always had discipline, right? And the reason why I say MLK and not like sports, because I use a lot of sports analogies, obviously. And so I'm not going to say, oh, you got to be a Kobe Bryant type guy, because everyone knows Kobe Bryant worked out like 7 hours a day, right? Let's use another example today. But discipline is going to be the key here. A lot of wholesalers are failing right now because they go out here and they operate off of feelings. Stop operating off of your feelings. Stop operating off of how you feel for the day. A lot of wholesalers feel like, I worked really hard today. I should stop doing what I got. No, you can't be doing this, okay? You cannot operate off of your feeling. I feel like I worked really hard today. I should take a break. The problem is you can't quantify what's hard or not. Your human brain's really, really weird. Where if you only work 2 hours a day, let's talk about being an accountant, something boring. Most accountants work 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, 40 hours a week, right? Standard, right? If you took an accountant and you had him work 2 hours a day and you told him you had to work 8 hours today, he's going to be sad. He's going to, oh my gosh, I'm working 4 times harder than him. This is insane. Because he's mentally used to working that 2 hours. And when he works 3 hours, he thinks he's exhausted. He is at overtime. He is at his max limit, right? And you take a guy that works 8 hours a day and he's used to it. His body's used to it. And you say you only have to work 2 hours. This is a joke for him. This is easy. 3 hours. Oh my gosh, right? And what's the difference between these two people? The difference is their expectations of what hard work was. And so when you go off of what you feel is hard work and you're used to being broke and lazy and you play video games and TikTok, I'm not saying that's you, but a lot of these type of people, when they have to actually do something that's cold calling and tough and difficult, and you put them there, they think an hour of cold calling is difficult. And then, oh my gosh, I worked so hard today. That's all I'm doing, right? When you just got to track and you listen to someone like, hey, this is a standard for it. And that's the point. You have to have a standard for yourself and have a numeral factor of what you have to do. That is it. If you operate off of feelings and how hard you feel, you are going to stay broke. You have to stay ahead of your competition. You have to do what actually takes success. And after helping people around the entire country, learning how to wholesale houses do really well, there's quantifiable numbers to this business. You have to learn how to start doing it. So broke people avoid accountability. Rich people implement discipline daily. Now, this is all raw. I think if you watch this channel enough, you kind of understand what I'm talking about, right? You understand this. But for the people in the back, the marks out there, you have to implement discipline. I will be nowhere in my life without discipline. I love schedules. The more scheduling I make in my life, I feel like the more money I make, because it gives me more free time because I'm disciplined and scheduled out. So I can go out here and do it. I'll tell you this. One thing that I have found is if I had random days where I worked out every single day, like just whenever I felt like working out, I'd never work out because I don't feel like working out half the time. But because I have disciplined schedule, it's easy. It's fine. I start using this implementation on my bandit signs, my cold calling, drawing for dollars, all the things when I'm starting out. It works really, really stinking well. And so let's kind of talk about this. We're getting to wholesaling real estate. We want to make money. When we want to get rich, what do? I'll tell you this. The best lead gen strategy, and I'm actually going to tell you my favorite lead gen strategy. But before this, I do want to, spoiler alert, tell you the best lead gen strategy is going to be the one that's going to keep you disciplined. And that is the point of today. Whatever is going to keep you actually talking to motivated sellers daily, what's actually going to have you make money wholesaling, whatever is going to have you actually sit your dumb butt down and do the work that actually needs to be done, that is what is going to be the best lead gen strategy. Because whatever you enjoy kind of the most, probably you'll enjoy it more, which means you'll do it more, which means you'll make money doing this, right? That's the point. And so if it's cold calling, texting, email blasting, MLS wholesale, whatever it is, heck, FISBOs maybe just a little bit, right? Whatever it's going to have you actually go out here and do the work, go do it. Just that the number one lead gen strategy is whatever keeps you disciplined, whatever is going to have you actually do the work. That being said, let's kind of break down if you don't know what to do, right? If you're a virtual wholesaler, you're a broke wholesaler, you're a rich, what you got to do, right? Like what is actually the things that we have to do? Now, I would say if you are a virtual wholesaler, or let's say you're a beginner, I would say for most people, and might be a broken record here, But I would 100% tell my best advice is to cold call. And I know I've said this a lot. I'm not here to sell you a cold. It seems like I'm selling you some cold calling course, but I'm not. Cold calling niche lists for about 10 hours a week is going to be the best for most beginners and virtual wholesalers. The truth is, a lot of wholesalers have this perpetual fear of talking to sellers over the phone. It's just having a conversation with a seller. It's so scary. It freaks most people out. They can't handle it. They don't understand. It's mind blowing how scary it is talking to a motivated seller, but they just don't have the experience. And the experience comes with just doing. And if you can just kind of sit in that cold, icy tundra of cold calling, it feels like it gets easier. And so if you're in the winter and you're from Miami and you spend 30 winters in Minnesota, right? You're going to get more used to it. The winter is going to be less scary when it's cold outside the 30th time than it is the first time because you're just used to it. The fear is gone. The what ifs, all you're going to be a vet at this, right? And so if you're a virtual wholesaler, putting at least 10 hours a week into niche lists are going to help you out because I think a lot of wholesalers have this issue of they're cold calling these big fat lists from a lead service. And you kind of get upset, right? You have to call a bunch of leads just to get one decent motivated seller, or you have to pay a bunch of money for VAs and systems like that, right? When frankly, all you really have to do is if you get a niched out list, a probate, a code violation, a water shut off list, right? Heck, even a drawing for dollars list, a stacked leads list, right? Even the IRS debt lien list that you can learn from my free wholesaling course. By the way, I have a course where I teach wholesaling for free because I don't have 300 hours of wholesaling content just to say in one day, right? 10 days. But I don't have that. I have a free wholesaling course where it kind of breaks all of that down. You go to freewholesaling.com. But I would say 10 hours of niche lists a day is going to be my best advice for you. Now, if you're a busy wholesaler, you don't have that much time, or you just, let's say you don't want to cold call. There's people that I tell them do it. They don't do it. You have other options, right? I did not get my first wholesaling deal cold calling, by the way. I've probably had the second most deals by cold calling. Number one, still direct mail. I would say that drawing for dollars and reverse drawing for dollars are going to be your best bets. If you're a busy guy, right? You only have 5 hours, 6, 7 hours, right? I would say drawing for dollars and reverse drawing for dollars are going to be your best bets for success here because drawing for dollars and reverse drawing for dollars, it's the best ROT. And ROT stands for return on time, right? Everyone focuses on ROI, return on my investments. But what you need to start focusing on is your return on time, how much time you put in this business, and actually how many great wholesaling real estate leads you're going to produce. Because once you can produce a ton of leads and really not that much time, that's going to be the best bang for your buck. So if you only have like 5 hours, for example, if you have less than 5, we're going to have a little chit chat. I love talking to wholesalers that say they have no time when they sleep 9 hours a day and they work out for 4 hours a day. Those are actually my favorites. But honestly, 5 hours a day at minimum, you can reverse drive for those drive for dollars. Now, if you say, oh, I'm virtual though, you're going to have to do some cold calling. And, there's some other things you can do, like we've kind of talked about. But I would say these are the two bases. And so for lead generation strategy, it's never just one thing. I'm a big proponent on testing, like you guys have probably heard me say a million times, right? We want to make sure that on our niche type of lists, what lists are going to work really well or what lists actually produce results. There's a million niche lists, but like there's code violations. Some markets, code violations are stupid insane. Like they work really stinking well. There are other markets where code violations don't work. Same thing drawing for dollars. Same thing with fire damage properties and and tax liens and water shutoff lists and arrest records, right? Some areas work really well. Sometimes vacants work really well. And sometimes vacants suck. Every market, the lists are just a little bit different of what works and what doesn't work. And so my job here is just to get a base of a good marketing channel, start testing out lists and see what's popping and what's not. I love fishing. I talk about fishing a lot. When I'm not the smartest guy when it comes to fishing, but I'm pretty proficient with it because I'll go check out an area. I'll try a bunch of different baits. I'll try a bunch of different rods. I'll go in a bay boat. I'll go in a center console. I'll go in a dinghy boat. I don't really care. And I'll figure out, hey, this bait right here, this rod, when I do it, I catch the most fish in this area. I'm going to start doing more of that and the thing that doesn't work. It's not, it's like what babies do, right? If they eat something, they like it, they eat more of it, and they eat something they don't like it, like broccoli, they don't eat more of it. It's human nature, even from a psychological base. That's how we work as human beings. And A lot of people throw that away, right? They throw discipline away and they throw the way we got to be doing things. And so basically wholesalers, drive for dollars, reverse drive for dollars, niche lists. That's what we got to be doing. And a base for all people, right? Especially if you have no money. If you have some money, sure, there's more things you can do. But what I'll tell you is if you have no money at all, you need to be at minimum. And I have free texting systems at freewholesaling.com. Usually be texting 50 to 100 sellers I should say a day. I was watching that. I'm not a guru, guys. So I I have my marketing assistant write this all down. I literally wrote this myself while I was watching the Texans. It was a little bit of the Texans game yesterday, and then it was the I think it was mostly. I think I wrote that during the Texans game. Yeah, and then a little bit of the Lions, I guess. Well, but really, 50 to 100 sellers a day is probably going to be the best bet for you. All right. I would say also say you need to be posting around 7 digital bandit signs a week. And now if you're asking yourself this question, what's a digital bandit sign? Right? If you're asking yourself that question, you obviously 100% haven't subscribed to this YouTube channel, which if you're watching this, you need to subscribe to it. You obviously haven't gone through my free course. It's called freewholesaling.com, where I teach you how to wholesale real estate absolutely for free. Literally just go to freewholesaling.com. I show you exactly how to do it the right way. It drives me insane. But if you don't do it, just go to freewholesaling.com right here. It's my free real estate wholesaling course where I'll teach you absolutely for free how to get going and how to get rich wholesaling real estate. But honestly, it drives me nuts that most people will watch this video. They still won't go through the course. A lot of them being lazy bums. Go through the course, learn how to wholesale, charge you $0 to get through it. The truth is a lot of people need some education to get in this business. But I'm doing it in a format that costs no money. You go in there, there's not one credit card to put in. You just click there, boom, learn wholesaling real estate absolutely for free. The truth is why I do this is because I want you to get the experience of spending $8,000 on a course with the best information without spending it. That is it. That's all I got. That's it. I could charge you $5,000 for it. I could get a lot of people signing up every single day with it, but I don't do it. Try to give it out absolutely for free. Now, if you want some more faster leads, right? Digital bandit signs are probably going to be the best ways to do it because at 10 p.m. at night, 11, midnight, 1 a.m., you can post these digital bandit signs. Facebook groups, you can post them in Craigslist places, use AI to write the scripts for you. Oh, how do I get that? Free wholesaling course, duh. But you got to understand that if you're not consistently texting these leads texting leads for free from your personal cell phone, Google Voice on the AI scripts I teach you, and you're not posting these digital bandit signs, at least 7 a week, you're behind the 8 ball on the wholesaler that's more hungry, that wants it more. Because if you don't want it more, you're not going to get it. Who wants it more? At the end of the day, that's what it's all about. Now, if you want some other leads faster, I would recommend a lot of people JV with other wholesalers. This is something I don't speak too crazy about that compare to what I do, because I do a lot of JVing. If you want to get the leads fast and you actually have a lot of cash buyers, you've done some deals, I would say if you want to produce some lead generation, JV with people. Literally go to the comments on this live stream and say, hey, I've closed 14 deals in the past week. I closed 14 deals in the past 2023 in the past year. And I'm looking if you're in Central Arkansas, if you want to JV with me, I have all the buyers I can help you dispo. Split the deal 50-50. Boom, right? Go do it. The problem is nobody posts on my YouTube comments about that. They don't go in the comments on my Facebook group, Wholesaling Houses for Real. FYI, Wholesaling Houses for Real has 127,800 people. That's a lot of people, FYI. That's 128,000 people, basically. Do you think you can JV with one person out of 128,000? That's a lot of people, okay? 128,000 people. It's insane. Okay. And so if you want leads fast, JV with wholesaler. That's one thing I don't think a lot of people are doing if you've done deals before, because everyone wants to be anonymous and all that. And that's great and all. If I knew what JVing was when I started out, I'd be on YouTube 2 years before that, right? But I was a big proponent on getting rich first and then learning this process and growing with it. And I learned JV was the best platform to go from there. But you want leads fast, JV. Just let people know who you are. Have some sort of online Facebook presence. Hey, my name's Zach. I do deals. Go from there, right? If you want leads fast, JV with wholesalers, you should be good to go. Now, understanding this, leads don't generate without action. There's no action without a reaction. Understand that. And so if I want to make money, the only way that money is produced is through action, doing something, making a change, turning nothing into something. Something has to move. And so you sitting up a lazy bum, not cold calling enough, it don't matter because there's someone else in your market that wants it more, that's going to get it. So leads don't generate without action. Remember this: movement, momentum, change, right? Leads, money. They don't come from nothing. They come from hard work. They come from actually working. And if you're struggling right now to get leads and you aren't working, if you're struggling to get leads and you're not working, like the leads aren't going to come. You have to go out here and do the work. And the last question is, what is your excuse? Are you perpetually blaming other people for why you're not rich? Or are you blaming your own self? Are you like Mark and saying, oh, you're just bad. That's why I'm not rich. That's why I'm poor. No, you're broke because you keep blaming other people of why you're broke. It's the system, man. It's because of what I look like. It's because of the country I was born in. It's because I have an accent. Guys, there's always somebody who was born into a worse situation than you that is way more rich than you. So it's not the system. It's not people looking at you saying, oh, I don't want to do that. No, there's somebody with a thicker accent that looks crazier than you. No, that's never the excuse. It's because that person implemented discipline in their life. They made the change. And they started doing more wholesaling deals. And so your excuse is it's a roadblock you have in your head of what you got to do.